Okay. You comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Move over a little. That's good. That's fine. First, I want to say good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to be your counselor for today. I want to start off by first briefly introducing myself. Mr. Mitchell. I'm sure you're aware of that. And you are?
Jamila.
Okay. It's nice to meet you, Jamila.
Nice to meet you too.
Before we continue, I want to mention that this is a safe space. You are here because you're able to express yourself and verbalize what brought you here. But I do want you to be aware that if you do say anything that I deem harmful or harm to yourself or others, I'm a mandated reporter, so I will be forced to tell my superiors or possibly authorities, police. Is that understood?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say thank you, especially during this time. I know it can be very, very stressing. But what is it that brought you in here today?
Just been having a lot of anxiety about being stuck in the house, not being able to go to work and do my normal activities. It can be overwhelming.
What is it that you do for work?
I'm a teacher. I work with kids.
Okay. So right now, and I'm assuming the time that you're talking about because of the pandemic that's going on with the COVID-19. And you said you're a teacher, so I'm sure you're in one of the facilities that aren't kind of running right now.
Right.
Okay. And is there anything like what specifically is causing this anxiety? I understand
not having my normal interactions every day. It's just different. It's just not something I'm used to. I'm used to always being on the go, and now I'm just stuck at home, not really doing much.
is there that now is it the okay, like I said, I could understand the change of the normal routine as something that can affect an individual, but this is something that's affecting everybody. So is there something that what other than the obvious, what does your day look like now as opposed to not going to work?
Getting up, doing some online things with my students as much as I can, doing my own schoolwork, cooking, cleaning. That's about it.
Now, not trying to put two and two together, but you mentioned previously that you were dealing with a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
What things have you done, if any, or are there things you possibly think you can do to help relieve some of that, or is?
I did think about starting to do some type of yoga or just working out, period, because that's also something I was used to doing, going to the gym and stuff. And now, because I can't do that, I thought it would be good to kind of relieve some of that stress by doing some, exercises or whatever to try to get my body and mind.
I think that's a good idea. I think that is something to keep you occupied, keep your mind and body focused on something for a time period. So I would understand that as being a good idea. Okay. Now that you've had this change, because how long has it been that you've been out of not out of work but not going to work?
Honestly, I lost count. I want to say March, since the beginning of March, so a month or so, over a month now.
It's kind of
longer actually. Now that I think about it.
Okay. It's like you kind of miss it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Didn't think I would, but it's definitely been a change. good and bad.
So what is it? What because and you have to understand that there's no, and I know you're not coming here looking for answers regarding that, but there's no timetable on how long situation is going to be the way it is. So if you're currently feeling the way you're feeling, what steps do you think you could possibly take? I know you mentioned the working out, and I agreed with that, but what is in your control that you maybe can change and possibly do, obviously within your limits, because I know you have a lot of limitations, as does everybody else, but what is it, do you think there's something that maybe possibly
Well, doing counseling like this, for one, it's helpful. Like I mentioned before, the exercise and being more active, and I also want to kind of keep my brain working type thing. So I think like doing more reading, less like on my phone all day, and trying to like do more reading, because like even the phone thing in itself is depressing, because all you're seeing is like news and different things on social media about everything that's going on. So it's kind of like get my mind off of it and away from it. I figured I'll do some like reading and add that into the exercising and the counseling.
I think that's a good idea as well. Basically because you're as a teacher, I'm assuming your mind is always usually working. So like you said, you want to keep your mind trained. Right. Okay. Has there any as far has that pretty much been what you've been dealing with? How's your family been dealing with this situation? Because I know there's been a lot of people affected differently, with this whole situation. So
they're healthy. I know that, but I honestly haven't really sat down and asked like how the whole situation in itself has affected them, or if it even is, or if it isn't. I haven't really asked them that, to be honest with you, but I know that they're healthy, and from what I know, and we keep in communication open through via FaceTime, phone calls, and text messages and stuff. But I really haven't asked that question. Like I think you're the first person to ask me that question. I think I really thought about it, honestly.
No, and like I said, it's a lot for everyone. It's a lot for everybody going through, what they're going through now. So I don't want you to think people are being dismissive, or people just dealing probably with what they're dealing with. So maybe that's also something you could do with some of the time you have. It's not going to hurt just to reach out, just to check in, see how everybody's doing. So moving forward, and I know I'm gonna sound repetitive because there's not much direction. There's not much direction that we have. We mentioned a few things. You mentioned a few things that you can kind of do to keep you occupied. Realistically, what's the first thing that you're gonna add to your schedule, or I shouldn't say add, change to your schedule, or that you realistically want to accomplish first? Because it's easy to say, you want to do all these different things, but at the end of the day, we're human. So is there anything that you will prioritize? Do you think anything needs to be prioritized as far as to make a change and to maybe, see a difference?
I think the working out definitely is first, because I feel like with that, like being more active, it will help me to like be less lazy, because it's so easy to be lazy because I'm stuck in the house. It's nothing but leisure time. So I think like actually working out will get me more motivated to actually want to do things and be more active in the house, versus just like napping all day, or like just watching TV type thing. So I think that would be the first thing I try to push myself to do, and not just say, like actually get up and do some type of movement, at least for like 30 minutes a day, something. Start off small, and then like do it for longer periods of time as time goes on.
That's definitely something that's attainable, reasonable. Okay. Now, and this also may, do you currently have any other responsibilities other than dealing with, I know you're not currently working in school. I know you're probably working from home, like you said. Did this pandemic affect anything else in your personal life or responsibilities?
Um, Not really as far as my responsibilities. Just work, of course. Now it's working from home. I did have a second job. Now I'm not doing that job at all because but that's not. I mean, it's due to the pandemic, of course, but it's kind of out of my control type thing.
All of this is,
Yeah,
well, not
so
all of it, but
right. So that was a change too, but it's not affecting me, I would say. Like I'm kinda enjoying the free time away from there. But yeah, it is something I do miss doing, but the particular client that I was with, it's a good break.
okay,
So
understandable.
yeah.
Okay.
Other responsibilities, not really. My boyfriend, I gotta kind of like cook for him and stuff. It's kind of like having a child, but not having a child, but it's a fun job. Bro,
Good. Tell me more.
why your face look like that?
It's called a minimal encourager, where you use silence to have your client talk more.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's about it. That's the only other responsibility I can really think of.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Making sure he's fed. He is an essential worker, so I just definitely want to make sure that he's well fed and taken care of because it's not easy going out there every day, you know. So that's
Okay.
been fun.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
I'm sure too. I'm very sure he's very appreciative. That's why I don't mind.
Well, okay, okay. Moving forward, are you in school at all?
Yes, I
Which is what I
am.
wanted you to say, but
I did say that. I said that in the beginning. I am in school. I do have to do my schoolwork as well. Yes, so that's also a responsibility I have.
how's that? Has that been an adjustment?
Yes and no. I'm not like oblivious to online classes. It's not my preferred type of learning, but it's been an adjustment dealing with every professor teaches differently, so it's kind of hard to like communicate with them sometimes when you're not face to face. You can't just ask a quick question after class or before class. You got to wait on emails and different stuff like that, or just even understanding an assignment. And
Okay, so that's definitely good to hear. It seems like you have been able to, in a sense, in this last month, establish like a new normal. Not to say you wanted to, but kind of, just
yeah,
ended up like that.
yeah, definitely made my peace with the situation and can't do much. So I'm
Okay,
adjusting.
but that's where I would have to disagree with you when you say you can't do much. You can't do much about
Yeah, about the
out there,
situation. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
and that's why I'm going to get to mentioning that you can just change your, maybe have a new normal, and even after this passes over, who knows if that becomes regular. And when I say a new normal, you already mentioned the making working out a part of your routine. Um, Even if you do decide to do other hobbies like training your brain by reading or doing
Mm-hmm.
different activities, even the reading, it's not like you have to, pressure yourself to be reading and you're not meeting any deadlines, anything. This is for your own leisure. So the same way how you're watching different shows, you can, take your time and pick up a book and that would be different ways to occupy your time that we didn't think we had before, which is what we seem to only have now, which is time.
Mm-hmm.
Um mm, so I know it seems like everything is slow. Is there anything else going on that's
Um, Not really. Just taking it day by day, trying to figure out where this is all going.
okay? So moving forward, are these session something that you would want to continue?
Yeah, definitely. It feels good to like get, some feelings and emotions that I'm having out. Not necessarily like, they're not like drastic, like I'm not in like the hardest place in my life, but just to like have that, and
Talk.
just to talk to somebody that, you know, doesn't have like, much insight or background about me. So,
Okay. I think we can do that. And I know you probably thinking, why am I meeting in person during this pandemic? But I can't get sick, so I don't have to worry about that.
you're immune.
No, I just can't get sick. Like,
Interesting. Okay.
yes. So we can continue these sessions. By all means, you can come in next week. What I do want you to do, what I want you to work on, and not necessarily work on, what I want you to do is you mentioned that you're gonna make a change as far as your day to day. When you come in next week Thursday, I want you to let me know what that change was. You mentioned a couple things. I'm not telling you to do everything. You mentioned, finding another hobby. You mentioned starting to work out. You mentioned a few things. I want you to find that one thing. And when I say, try it out, that means take some time out during this next week, do that one thing, and see if that's something that you feel like can be long term or permanent or a part of your new normal.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only thing I want to leave you with. Do you have any other concerns, last words?
Nope. That
Okay.
was great.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to spend some time here and get a lot of things off your chest. I want to wish you and yours health, long term health, and
You too.
thank you. And we should do this again. Thank you.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
it.